this out. You know, oftentimes we as people get so caught up in our own stress and strife on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, I know it's cliche to say that someone out there has it worse than you do. I just wanted to bring you that angle. Better yet, I want to bring you my angle. I'm already rich, got my mind right, plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? I'm already rich, I got my mind right, plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? I'm already rich, got my mind right, plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? I'm already rich, got my mind right, plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? Listen, right. If I'm healthy, I'm already wealthy. Don't let me get my money right, really won't be nothing to tell me. See, right now I'm ballin' on the budget. Other dudes is mad because they can't budget. That simply means I can't be moved. So while he blowing his advance, I'm trying to make the most of my chance. And I'm doing pretty good if I may say so. Mellow groove good cause we got our pesos. I might come on the scene, I may lay low. Give me my queso and dame beso. Make sure my family's straight. Used to get mad at the kid, now they understand when he late. My hustle legitimate, I'm reaping the benefits of everything I've sown. So what? And I won't stop, doggy. You can bet that on your bones. Better yet, I bet that on everything. I'm already rich, got my mind right. Plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? I'm already rich, I got my mind right. Plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? I'm already rich, got my mind right. Plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? I'm already rich, got my mind right. Plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? Right. So social, bi-coastal, I go postal. Part of the new, but I still rep the old school. Only seek approval from the people that I'm close to. Given this talent, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to. Sometimes it's a struggle, always having to juggle. I used to move weight till I packed on the muscle. Never slack on my hustle. I get it, yeah. That's why I spit it, yeah. God, family, money, power, respect. I embody all five. Life has cut me a check. With so many O's, I forget about those things you call problems fly away in my jet. Yet, lanes notice I remain focused. The game woke as we breathe life, you can't choke us. I call my shots on Babe Ruth, go ahead and pitch. That's why I'm already rich. I'm already rich, got my mind right. Plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? I'm already rich, I got my mind right. Plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? I'm already rich, got my mind right. Plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? I'm already rich, got my mind right. Plus live the limelight, yes, it's divine, right? Right.
Well, what a surprise. Famous dug out an old record. You know,
yeah, I was in the archives.
I was getting hype over here, man. I haven't heard that song in so long. Already Rich. So many years ago. That had to be, I think I recorded that 2011 or so, man. Yeah. The Might As Well.
The Might As Well album,
yeah. We done pivoted into this digital space and all of that now, but it was great to hear that, man. I still remember some of the lyrics and everything, but I digress. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
What up?
Welcome to another installment of No Shortcuts with Midas and Fame. I am Midas, and this is Fame.
What's up?
It is Tuesday. Today is actually St. Patrick's Day, I
It
believe.
is. It is. You didn't wear your. Oh, you did wear your green. Yeah.
Yeah, I did wear my green.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah. So today is Tuesday, March 17th. Well, I figured I started not to, but I say since I'm gonna be on screen, nobody could pinch me through the screen. But let me just just let me align myself with being aware that it was St. Patty's Day and all that.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, March 17th, 2026, ladies and gentlemen, y'all come on in. As you're coming on in, be sure to say hi. Also, shout out to all of our following on Facebook, all of our following on YouTube, whether you're catching that replay on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you're joining us on Twitch, we want to welcome you. And it's a pleasure to be here, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everybody had a great weekend. That weather changed on us a little bit.
Yo, seriously, what is going on?
School was canceled yesterday in your area?
Well, we already did. We didn't have school anyway yesterday, so they were out on Friday and Monday anyway. So we didn't have any extra cancellation, but yeah, it's wild out here, man. It was like we went to Carowinds on Saturday, and it was nice out there. It was like 80 degrees, and then wake up the next day. Wake up
actually Saturday. Yeah. Saturday night going into Sunday, I could tell the temp. I was out due to the wedding we had to play in Camden, Mellow Groove, but the weather made it a little pivot. And I was telling people the last few weeks, I was like, it feels great outside, but I don't think that's the last of the cold. And then with the cold leading to the possible tornado situation. So there's a lot of e-learning going on in my area and surrounding yesterday. Just, I guess they want to be on the safe side as far as the weather and possible tornadoes and things like that. So.
Yeah, man, I had to bring the hoodies and the winter coats back out this morning to take everybody to school. I was freezing.
Yeah, don't put them away yet, ladies and gentlemen. Wait till probably April, mid-April to end of April, then you can kind of say, okay, the warm weather is here going into summer now, and spring will officially be next week or this week. The 21st, right?
Yeah. I didn't realize your wedding was in Camden. I'm right up the street. Could have crashed
Thursday,
it.
You could have. You certainly could have. It was crashable.
Yeah.
And just real quick, recap wise, Brandon Stevens and myself were representing the Mellow Groove duo at CCB, and speaking of, at CCB Bistro and Vine, and I got a chance to see Mr. Juan Velasquez and the Boss Lady. They were there representing the Travel People and the Travel People podcast. We had a great crowd Thursday night, man. Lovely people. It was packed pretty much to capacity. A few folks on the patio because the weather was still, nice then as well, which was great. Shout out to Chef Shanali, Mindy, and the rest of the staff. Former guest of our platform. And so Friday night was an off night, and then Saturday our full Mellow Groove band played a wedding reception in Camden, South Carolina, at this art gallery building, 3rd floor. You ever been there?
I know the building. I haven't been there, but I know the building. So I'm about 20 minutes from there.
Oh man,
I
should have.
I know you mentioned you had a wedding, but I don't think last week you didn't say where it was, so I didn't know it was in Camden.
I did because you had the thing in North Carolina. I think we were saying we're representing. I said I'm representing South Carolina, and you had something in
Sunday.
North Carolina, right?
Sunday,
that was Sunday.
Yeah, that was Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you had the Fayetteville thing. We were talking about that.
Okay, and you were in South Carolina. That's right. So wrong day. Yeah. So Sunday. So as you lead me into recapping, so Sunday. Shout out to my brother in School Sales. Yeah, y'all check him out, ladies and gentlemen. Also a former guest of our platform. But we had the charity with the Classic Soul Band. I was with the chairman of the board. We closed out the charity, and that was a good cause. It was like doctors and people who worked in the medical field kind of coming together to provide health insurance for those who can't afford it. So shout out to Doc. He goes by the name Doc. He's actually Doctor, but we just call him Doc. He put it together, and he's also founder of the Classic Soul Band that opened up and everything. And then we all went to dinner and everything afterwards. So we finished at 6 in Fayetteville, So we got time to get a bite to eat before we, they didn't have food at the establishment, because by the time we arrived, that was already done. Because some of us play at church on Sunday, so we scrambling to get there to sound check. But we made it work, man, and it was a lovely weekend. I have no complaints. Stayed busy. Actually, at the wedding, we had to learn about, I think, 6 or 7 songs. So but everything went well. And we also had a sax player. We added bass and lead and all of that as well. So we had a female vocalist. So we had about 8 or 9 of us, I believe,
Nice.
on as far as Mellow Groove.
Hitting with the
budget
9-piece.
when the budget can afford the 9-piece, the 9-piece will be there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Natalia, former guest of our platform. Yeah, when they got the budget, you want sax? Okay, we know a guy.
We know a sax player.
Yeah, bring a female vocalist. You want CeCe Peniston, finally. You want Whitney Houston, I want to dance with somebody.
Yeah.
Those, you know what I mean? And we utilized her to do backgrounds as well.
Make it a 10-piece and put a DJ on it. Let's do that.
Yeah. They actually didn't even have a DJ. We were the whole entertainment. I mean, mind you, Brandon ended up emceeing a little bit and playing a few things from his iPad. You know, as far as the entrance and things like that.
Sure.
But maybe outside of 3 songs, it was just us.
Yeah.
Which was a little different. But that might be why that budget. Okay, we'll proceed.
The number was right.
And the daughter of the groom. The father of the bride. Let me get it right here, man.
Get it right.
It was like you guys do an extra 30 minutes. He went in his pocket, so we did an extra 30 minutes. All right, now we can proceed.
Yeah, I like it. I like it when that happens.
Appreciate you guys.
Gratuity is appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do an extra 30 minutes right fast.
Sure. No, well, I'm already here.
Yeah. And what we're gonna do? We're gonna drag out about 2 or 3 songs. We're gonna get the Soul Train line going. We're gonna hit you. Yeah.
We're gonna do the extended version.
Let the people come up on the stage and dance a little bit, and that 30 minutes gonna fly by.
Good afternoon, Miss Betty Ann. Yeah, it has been a while. I was just thinking about you recently. I said she hadn't been on the show in a while. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah,
glad you're here.
So
Good to see you.
Welcome
Good to
back.
see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you. You came on a great week. I can tell you that. Quick recap of me. I didn't do much. Getting ready for wedding season. Took the kids to Carowinds on Saturday. It was opening day at Carowinds, so we did that. And then yesterday I had a open house at the Crystal Ballroom in Rock Hill. So I went to church Sunday morning. My daughter was serving in the kids ministry, and then went straight to. We had to do separate cars because I was going to be staying in Rock Hill. So kids went on with the wife, and I just shot right over to the Crystal Ballroom. Shout out to them. They had a great open house on Sunday for people that's interested in booking the venue or already booked the venue, but they're looking for other entertainment. So I got to meet some good folks out there Sunday afternoon at the Crystal Ballroom. They said it was drinks and refreshments and stuff. I had a soda, but I didn't see any food ever come around. So I think I missed. Wow. I was in the wrong room. I was in the lounge area, and my man, the other DJ, was in the ballroom. But I never saw any food come around, man.
Yeah,
so,
you might have had to take a little walk.
Yeah, I left there hungry. I left there a little bit hungry.
Did you smell anything?
Nah, I didn't smell it.
You didn't smell any
But there was
wings?
some pastries. Like there was a baker there. She was doing wedding cakes and stuff. So she had some little cupcakes. I had a couple of those, all right. I didn't eat before I got there. So then I left there hangry.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. If you went straight from church, I was kind of in the same boat Sunday myself. We had to stop on the way to Fayetteville to grab something because being in church and you trying to get straight there to get on the van to leave by noon and all of that, you know what I mean? But yeah. It's when we're entertaining, it's important that we eat so we can be comfortable.
It really is, man. I had a little Reese's peanut butter cup that I brought with me, and that was about it.
Yeah, well, that's being diligent, just having a little something. So,
absolutely. Speaking of church, we have a great guest. We were talking a little bit in the green room. I've known this gentleman for many, many, many years. I've seen him come up to where he is right now. He is an amazing youth leader. He's doing big things out here. And I've been wanting to bring him on the show to talk to him. But I don't know. Before I was like, he can't come on no Tuesday at 12 o'clock. He's still in school, but now he's officially out into the
Yeah.
work world. So
Yes.
he's ready to talk to us. Let's bring him on, my man. Y'all, please put some claps in
Yeah.
the chat, put some ones in the chat, whatever, for my man London
In the
Boyd.
space. Yeah.
What's up?
London, what's
Welcome,
happening,
welcome.
man?
Oh man, nothing much, nothing much.
Yeah, we appreciate you joining us today, taking a moment out of your busy schedule to come on to No Shortcuts with Midas and Fame and to get us a little bit more acquainted with you and all of the things that you are involved in. We're looking forward to learning more about you.
Of
Yeah.
course, I'm here. I'm ready.
Thanks.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes,
Thanks for
sir.
coming, man. As I mentioned, I mentioned I've seen you, I've known you for years, probably since you were in middle school, and now you're ministering to the middle school. But tell the folks first a little bit about yourself. You know, where you're from, and what your childhood was like. What was it like growing up as a young London?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm originally from Columbia, South Carolina,
All
and
right.
originally being from Columbia, South Carolina, my parents divorced at an early age, so I
Mhm.
moved to Rock Hill, South Carolina Elementary, got plugged
Okay.
into Elevation, pretty much grew up at Elevation Riverwalk, went through Elevation Riverwalk, went to middle school, Sluta Trail, went through South Point High School, graduated there, went through barber school, got done with barber school. Um, but yeah, pretty much like Rock Hill was where I was raised, but Columbia, South Carolina is where I'm originally from.
Yeah, and I got to tell the folks at home because I asked you before we came on in our virtual green room. So, ladies and gentlemen, this young man is only 20 years old himself. You know, so doing the type of service that he's doing, ministering to the youth and caring about not only his own spirituality, but those a generation, how do I say, behind him, a generation behind him, and trying to provide that service, man, and leading people to church and to getting to know Christ. And I will say, at my age of 47 years old and growing up, my father is a bishop. My mother is an apostle. My mom's normally only. She'll probably pop on, but having that element of spirituality in life is very important. We go through things sometimes that you can't see the end of the road, but you be going through stuff. But I will tell you, having an element of spirituality and having faith in a higher power helps get you through some of your more trying times. I just wanted to implement that, So I wanted to commend you and salute you for being a young man who is who has found his purpose in bringing people to Christ. I wanted to commend you.
Yeah. Miss Betty Ann says she's from Columbia too. Nice to see
Let's
such a
go.
fine young man leading
Yeah.
our youth. That's right.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about, first let's start with, when you first came to Rock Hill pretty much, and what was it like for you? What was that change like going from Columbia to Rock Hill? And then, what led you when you got connected with the church? What led you to that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, coming into Rock Hill, went through elementary school, was always trying to kind of like fit in, went through middle school, and middle school is kind of more so a turning point. Um, Middle school for me was when I started meeting Sammy Gomes, who was the youth director at the time at Elevation Riverwalk. And
Shout
for
out
the
to
longest, my
Sammy.
mom would always ask me, she'd be like, "Hey, you want to go to youth night? You want to go to youth night? You want to go to youth night?" And my answer would always be no. My
Mm.
answer would always be no. And I think one day she kind of convinced me or got me to go. And the person at the front door that welcomed me was Sammy Gomes. Remembered my name, gave me a high five,
Yeah.
just got to learn about me. And the thing about Sammy was he was able to make people feel involved and just bring
Right.
people into it. So the very
Yeah.
next week and the next few weeks started looking like me coming and helping out with youth nights. And it was like he didn't just bring me into like this church thing, but he also involved me in it and said like, no, like you
Yeah.
got a part to play too.
Yeah,
You
it
can
Yeah.
gave you a
contribute too. So
responsibility.
Yeah.
yeah, it was great. Since then, that's just been like kind of like the thing ever since. I've had a moment where I went to summer camp and I realized that the call of God was on my life. I still remember the
Mm-hmm.
moment
How old were
praying
you
for a
then?
kid, and I still remember the cry. I was probably still like in middle school when I feel like, okay, this is it. I always
Yeah.
knew that I would kind of be kind of like doing ministry. I just didn't know what that looked like. See,
Uh-huh.
like it's like being called, but not necessarily knowing like where. It's like, okay, so like where, what does that actually look like? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I realized it was youth ministry after praying for a kid and him crying and hugging me and saying, "You don't know how much I needed that." And the part
Mm,
that got me is he ended up giving his life to Christ right after that moment. And I
mm.
was like, "Yeah, this is the place I want to do it." So I remember going home to my mom and I'm like, "I think I got it now." She's like, "Got what?" And I'm like, "No, no, no, like I got it now. Like I know what it is that I want to do. It's youth ministry."
Mm.
Yeah,
So that's always a moment that I keep with me. I still remember the cry of that teenager.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
amazing. Go ahead.
prior to going to youth night, were you active? Like, were you going to church or anything before Elevation, or was Elevation your first kind of experience with going to church on a regular basis?
I'd always go to church. My mom did a really good job of making sure that I was in church, and then also having
Uh,
like my mom on my dad's side just really like heavy in church. So like
mm,
I've been to different churches, some black churches in Charleston, some black
mm,
churches in the Low Country, Ridgeville, South Carolina, and then some Columbia, South Carolina churches too, that I still hold dearly. So
mm.
I've been to a
Yeah,
few different churches before Elevation, but Elevation
the
was
Elevation
the
where
first
you
church where
found
we
home.
actually like we found home. We planted roots there, and we've been there for a while now before they even got their building. So it's been
Yeah.
a long while.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
that
awesome.
story you tell about Sammy is very similar to mine because we had been, I had been going to Elevation for years before, before Riverwalk and before Rock Hill. And then we moved away for a few years. We moved to Asheville before there was even an Elevation in Asheville. And when we came back to Rock Hill is when the Riverwalk location was there. And same thing, I walked in kind of, we walked in one day and Sammy was probably the very first person that spoke to
Yeah.
me. And I had been gone from the church, for years, and I didn't know anybody in Rock Hill as far as the
Mm,
church was concerned. And
mm.
Sammy was the very first person that spoke to me. And again, like you said, he remembered, the next time he saw me, he remembered a small detail about my kids and, stuff like that. And he was just that guy, to really go out of his way seemingly to make you feel comfortable and to
Yeah,
make you feel home. And same thing, he kind of hold you accountable and give you something to do. Say, hey, I
yeah.
need you
When you
back here
give,
next week because
yeah, when you attached, that'll go lock you in.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
he's a
that's
great
that.
guy, and I've I've
100%.
I've always really respected him, and I noticed that that's what I was saying beforehand. I think I was saying to Midas, I've seen a lot of that in you from what I know about him. And I know you were working very closely with him since the time you were, in middle school. I'm like, yo, Sammy, this guy, Sammy did good here with this one, man.
Yeah,
This
man.
guy's doing the thing right here.
And you need people with personalities like that, right? Because you want to attract people, uh,
Yeah.
you know, to the church and to keep coming. So personalities like that, I feel, are very key into growing the church. So yeah,
100%.
shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to him. And I think it's important, and I want to get you to talk a little bit about this, London, just for the kids and the youth to know that it's cool. It's cool to be,
Yeah.
associated with the church. Like London is
Man,
a
yeah.
cool dude, man. And when I see what's going on, when I see what he's doing with the kids and all that, it looks like a party. It looks like something you want to be around, So you want to,
Mhm.
let the kids know that this is fun. Praising God is
Yeah.
fun. So I want you to talk a little bit about that aspect and how hard that's been to, get kids involved.
100%. I think yeah, church is cool. Church is cool. You start to realize that there's a whole nother world of church when you start to get involved with it and you're starting to get creative and you're starting to brainstorm ideas and all kinds of things. So like it's really cool to kind of see and I think what I did for so long of my time in middle school, even in high school, was just like trying to live set apart, trying to live
Mhm.
set apart, trying to live and follow the way of Jesus, but also realizing that set apart don't mean it got to be boring. Like set apart
Nah.
mean it can still be fun. Set apart mean I can still have some fun friends at church and have
Mhm.
some outside time with some friends and like still enjoy it. And I think
Yeah.
that's the part of it that's been the most beautiful part. Like my best friend I met through the church. My
Mhm.
best
Wow.
friend, I was his best man at his wedding. Like my
Hey.
Wow.
best friend I met at the church. Like
Mhm.
like there's no other place to find community. There's no other place to really find solid people like the church, like the local church. I really think the
Hmm.
local church is a huge part of that. And I also think that with our students, we kind of see that too as well, of just like, man, we have students that come all over. Like every Wednesday right now, like I'm meeting with 15 to 20 students that
Wow.
come at 4 or 5, like an hour before, and we're just like, what do y'all want youth nights to look like?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
we're
I gotta
asking
ask
their
them.
opinion. Like I like
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, let me know if this is trash. Like if I have it's trash, you say something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's like
They gonna
I
call it
want students to
mid.
come to a place. Yeah, they're gonna call it
Kids,
mid.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like
Exactly.
I
I
just
got a
want students to come
12-year-old,
to a place that they
Yeah.
feel they would want to invite their friends to. Our whole
Hmm.
motto is for youth by youth. Like I don't want
Hmm.
you to invite your friends to something that you don't think is cool, so make it cool.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Make it fun.
And that's
Make it
great
make it
leadership.
vibrant.
Yeah, I think that's great leadership too, like to give them a voice into what they would like to do. Since you're
Hmm.
asking them to come there. Now, of course, some things may be over the top. It's up to you guys to
Yeah,
veto and you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
hundred
weave it
percent.
however. But I think that also makes them feel included. They're not necessarily have to stick to a specific type of program or specific type of event, but just the simple thing of asking them what they would like to do is, I think that's huge by itself.
100%. Like we just got done brainstorming last week, but uh, at first a lot of ideas get thrown out, and you start to
Yeah, of
ask them
course.
big questions
It's gonna be over
like,
the
hey,
top.
like if you didn't have to pay for anything, what would you do? You know, kind of thing. And they're
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, we're doing a monkey set, like a swing set,
yeah,
like all kinds of like yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
Right.
you kind of just throw it out your mind later. But the
Yeah.
beautiful thing of it is we got 5 weeks where we're planning to go all in and do like big stuff for our youth
Hmm.
nights for 5 weeks, and all of it was student planned. And I think
Hmm.
that's the
Hmm.
beauty of it, getting students
Yeah.
involved. That's the same way
That's
Sammy did with me. So I'm just kind of doing that with other students.
Hmm.
yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
That's great, man. And
Fantastic.
what do you find? Have you found any challenges? Anything that's harder than you thought it would be? When you started coming into it.
Any challenges that I thought would be? I think I think the challenge that I probably faced was transition. Um, Transition is not necessarily the easiest of things, but I think
Hmm.
having grace to realize that, like, man, some of our students have experienced a lot of transition.
Hmm.
So being graceful with that, being mindful with that, understanding that, like, hey, it may not be what it used to be, but I
Hmm.
Yeah.
believe that there's something better that's happening on the other side of that, and I'm just got to get you to see that.
Hmm.
Most of it is,
Hmm.
hey, if you could just see this with your own eyes, like the fruit of what's actually about to happen,
Hmm.
like you'll be
Yeah.
mind blown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a specific transition as it pertains to you, or just transition in general?
I think transition in general. We went through a few different youth directors
Hmm.
at our
Uh
church,
huh.
and there was a time last semester where I was going for an apprenticeship.
Okay.
So I just came back January, just came back with the campus and brainstorming some stuff. But yeah, I think it's always hard, and you always have that question where students is like, "Hey, like, are you here forever, ever, or like,
Hmm.
are you
Yeah.
back
It's
now?"
hard.
Like, you
That's a
know,
loaded
because
question.
once they find the people they like, they want to like hold on and
Yeah.
be attached. They don't know how
Yeah.
to let go
How do
sometimes,
you
and I
answer
think
that anyway? How do you
yeah,
answer that? I
um,
think that. Oh yeah, I'll
it's
let you
hard.
say.
It's hard to answer it. There's
Yeah.
sometimes where I'm like, yeah, yeah. But like there's also sometimes where I'm like, I don't know. What if God calls me somewhere
Yeah.
else? Like you
Right.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like
No.
it's hard to give an answer.
You might not be
Yeah.
45 and a youth director. It might not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And the thing is transition in life period is unavoidable. You know,
100%.
yeah. So life, as we mature, we evolve. Things happen with life. So, I guess all you can say is I'm here for the foreseeable future. I'm
Yep,
here. Don't But if anything were to ever, I'll let you guys know. But
Yeah.
it's hard to
100%.
to say be like, yeah, I'm gonna be here forever. That I don't even think that's possible for any circumstance.
Yeah,
You
nah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yannette,
yeah.
what's up? Kenya, what's up? Yeah, Kenya's a college classmate of mine. I see her
Okay.
saying hi. And
Hey
Yannette,
there,
member of our
Kenya.
community.
And
Yeah,
Yannette,
thank
what's
y'all for
happening?
joining
We're
us.
glad you're here, Yannette. We're going to have you on screen very soon, Yannette. We got to get you
Yeah,
on screen. We
tell
have
us all
another
about how.
comment. So many young children are in one-parent families or raised by grandparents. They want something they can count on. Yeah, so they want that
Yeah,
stability. They want to
stability.
know you're going to be around.
100%.
They start giving their trust and letting their guard down
Mhm.
around you. Then they're going to have to start all over if somebody else,
Yeah,
comes in. So
yeah,
I understand where that
and
would come from.
and I would also throw in there. I don't know if this helps you at all or not, London, but even if I'm not here forever, we can exchange emails, addresses. We can
100%.
exchange phone
Yeah.
numbers. So even if I'm not physically here, you can still get in contact with me whenever you
Mhm.
need, and I can still check on you and things like that. So yeah, that's about the best way you can
100%.
answer that.
The
Yep.
beautiful the beautiful thing about it too is even when I was in transition, the beautiful thing was we have a student worship team, student ran production, like a lot of it is student ran. And the
Uh
beautiful
huh.
thing is they would ask me, it would be like, how did you know this happened on Wednesday? I was like, no, I watch. Even though I'm not there, I still watch. I still
Mhm.
support.
Yeah.
And just realizing that, like, no, there's still that relational equity to say, like, hey, if you need me, I'm here. And I
Yeah.
still want to
Yeah.
support it. And I still want to see what God's doing through you and see what's happening at Riverwalk and all those things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful, man. So what's a
Yeah.
typical youth night look like though?
Tell
And
us
and how
about it.
often are they? How often are they?
Youth nights are every Wednesday. We try to do them
Uh-huh.
semesterly. So we do summer and then we do a fall semester.
Okay.
Um, but the way that youth nights are from 6 to 8. 4 to 5 is my time where I disciple my core like students. Like these my 15, my 22. We're doing Bible study. I'm not trying to give you
Mhm.
an answer. I want you to find the answer yourself.
And this is
Um,
before the actual youth night event takes
before the
place. You
actual
guys
youth
are doing
night.
Bible study. Okay, nice.
So a lot of the
Yeah.
students are doing Bible studies. I'm giving them language to evangelize in their schools. They're actually
Mhm.
praying over their groups, chairs,
Mm.
and praying over the room before students even come. And
Wow.
then close to 6, they start getting in positions to serve, whether it's greeter, whether it's VIP, whether it's check-in,
Mhm.
whatever that looks like, they start getting ready to serve.
Mhm.
5:45 to 6, we start to see some kids start to roll in. We get them
Yeah.
checked in. We have games in the lobby. We have games outside. We have food. And the cool thing about the food team is we have a whole bunch of grandmothers who have a praying grandmothers
Hey,
group.
they
So
prayed over
literally
that
the
food.
people that serve the food,
Mhm.
they praying over the food. They praying over each kid that comes in the line. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh-wee. I can
So
Absolutely.
it's a
almost
beautiful
taste
thing
it.
to have that.
Yeah, nah,
But
that's
yeah, we
good.
do that. They get food, all that. So it's from 6 to 6:30 is their free time. You got some boys outside playing basketball.
Okay.
You got some middle schoolers like trying to get some girls' number. Like it's youth ministry. Like
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's
you
gonna
got it
happen.
all.
Yeah,
All of it
yeah. The
happens.
hormones still going to be trying to do something.
Yeah. You got some of you just watching the bathrooms here and there. Like
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
it's
yeah,
youth
yeah.
ministry. But
That's
6:30, we call all the students in from outside and inside. We open the doors to
okay.
the auditorium, and they go into the auditorium. What we do every Monday or Wednesday is we remove the full-on middle section of the auditorium, and we pipe
Okay.
and drape the auditorium, and we do like a floor layout, worship
Uh,
kind of vibe. And
yeah.
how it normally goes is 6:30 they'll enter in. We'll have two people hosting. Normally it's a student and a leader, or two
Uh-huh.
students hosting. So they'll
Okay.
host, they'll welcome everybody in, they'll share some announcements. They'll do
Mm-hmm.
a game for a prize that gets some students like in it and involved. And then
Mm-hmm.
what ends up happening is for the next 2 minutes, we put prayer prompts on the screen and we enter into a time of pre-service prayer.
Okay.
And that challenges our students to get together, like not just pray for yourself, but pray for your
Pray for
friend, pray for the
others.
person in your
Yeah.
group, pray for your
Yeah.
leader. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
talk to a leader if you need prayer. And we
Mm-hmm.
prioritize that heavily because we realize that there's a lot of heaviness in this world, and we want
Yeah.
to
Oh
make sure
man.
we're equipping our students for it. It's a
Yeah.
heavy place. Our
Yeah.
students are
Prayer
living in
places
a
a
in a heavy
covering.
time.
Yeah, and prayer places a covering over things and blesses it, and sometimes protect you from forces that you can't even see. So, yeah, prayer is good,
100%.
man. Implementing, a daily prayer and even prayers situationally, I highly, highly recommend. I didn't mean to cut you off. Okay.
No, you're good. You're
Yeah.
good. You're speaking on 100%. Like
Yeah.
how like teaching kids like, hey, like coming into a place with anger in your heart
Mm-hmm.
is like,
Mhm.
yeah, we gotta pray. We gotta work on that, you know?
Yeah.
But they do pre-service prayer for 2 minutes. Then what we do is instead of doing the teaching after worship, we do it before worship. So we
Okay.
have the teaching that happens. Normally, me or our other youth director, Gabe, will go up and speak. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, we'll break them out into groups. They stay in the room for groups. So it's literally a whole
Mm-hmm.
bunch of circles split based on middle school girls, middle school boys, high school girls, high school boys. They have group
Mm-hmm.
time with their leaders. We only give them 3 questions because we believe that if we give them like the simple format the group, that great conversation can happen. So we only do
Absolutely.
3 questions each week. And then after around like, I want to say 7, they start to come back
Mm-hmm.
to the middle for worship.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
do, I want to say 4 songs. We do one
Okay.
song, one hype, like fun song for the students. And then
Uh-huh.
normally me or Gabe will come up and we teach like the posture of worship
Mhm.
Mm.
before we get into like going into those songs that like talk about the blood of Jesus or talk about like meet me here again, Lord. Like before we get into
Mm-hmm.
any of that, we want them to be postured to receive that. So a
Right.
lot of it is learning how to capitalize on moments. Like I've had some
Mm-hmm.
moments where I've had to uh, just like stop in the middle of praying and be like, hey, there's some of you in the room that need to move right now. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. Like
Mm.
you're not able to receive God's
Mhm.
presence this way. Or there's some of you
Yeah.
that are hiding like near the pipe and drape.
Mhm.
I
Mm.
really believe that God wants to move in your heart, but He can't move in your heart if you're not willing to be in the space. Like
Right.
all
Mhm.
kinds of things like that
Mm-hmm.
that we have to do. But after the ministry moment, they get into like 2 or 3 songs, and our worship team is led by students, and they're incredible.
Mhm.
They're
Wow.
incredible. They
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 are.
flow. They create the space for God's
Nice.
presence to be
Yeah.
tangible for a
And
student
music
to
is
encounter,
important.
and
Yeah.
it is it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like how it goes. We do worship, and then normally we end it off with one fast song, and then at 8 p.m. We say, hey, we see you guys next week, and they start getting ready to go
Mm-hmm.
out to their parents, to their cars, and we'll see them next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah,
coming out
man.
of there wide open. For
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably hyped and feeling rejuvenated and
Mhm.
probably fulfilled in a way that you can only feel that by being in that atmosphere. So that's
100%.
great, man. And like
Yeah.
you said, with so much heaviness going on in the world today, man, you need something to at least counteract or provide a balance to that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So there's still good people out here, people who are trying to be Christ-like, trying to be different from
Mhm.
from everything that you may see out on a day-to-day basis within the world. And you can tell those people who is something different about, and that's who you want to surround yourself with.
Yeah.
People who are trying to hold themselves to a different type of standard, which is rare today.
100%.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
it's it's a thing to see, man. Even when we're in the the Sunday service, Lyndon will have his students on one side of the auditorium,
Uh-huh.
and we're normally on the other side, but we'll look over there when they start worshiping. He'll have them
Yeah.
kids, man. They're up there, just it's just so inspiring to see a
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
side of the room is just students, and he's leading them, and they're just really, really into the worship and into the
Yeah.
word. My daughter's still a little bit shy.
That's
And
yeah.
she's working herself into it. And unfortunately, since we live so far away, we can't do the Wednesdays because she would love to come on Wednesdays right now too. And we're gonna try and start working that out in the fall season for her. But we don't live, that close to Rock Hill anymore. So we still come, on
100%.
Sundays because she loves being there. She loves surf. She loves, being a part of it as well. And it's just really inspiring to watch it through the eyes of these students, because we're adults, we see it, we experience, the worship and the pastor and all, but then to see it through the eyes of middle and high school kids, like how
Yeah.
much they're into it,
Special.
and then think about what we was doing at 12 and 13 and 14, I'm just like, this is where I want my children to be, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
inspiring, man.
Yeah. And we
Kudos to
go to.
you.
I was gonna say too, and really, there's no need to be shy. Me being the minister of music at my church, we
Mhm.
have we have Jersey Sundays and all that,
Mm,
so where they could
Oh yeah.
everybody. So I'm like, we go to these other concerts and we go to these football
yeah.
games and we scream and we make all and we lose ourselves in the moment. We can do
Hmm.
that here at church too.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
all of the little
100%.
talking that you hear before church starts, and when you that first voice you hear on the mic and everybody quiets down. No, no, keep the energy, keep the energy. Don't get quiet. Don't get shy.
Yeah.
Because if you can lose yourself in these other
Hmm.
worldly situations or what people consider worldly, like football games or basketball
Hmm.
games, just sports in general, other concerts. Why can't we come to church and have that same energy and totally get lost in the
Hmm.
experience?
Yeah.
No need to be shy.
No need to be
Yeah,
shy. No need to be
that's
shy.
my 2 cents.
Yeah, she's getting there. And they really do a lot, for in the youth ministry. And just like even Linda said, with the music, and they have youth led worship team. And again, that's something my daughter wants to do because she plays piano. She's at home playing worship songs. And
Yeah,
so
that's good.
that's what I'm saying. We really want to get her into it once we can start committing. And you mentioned the summer camp and how that was impactful for you when you went
Mm,
in middle school. And I just wanted to, attest to that. My older daughter, Jessica, she's a few years ahead of you, London, but she went to the summer camp when she was younger. And now Imani is trying to go too. She wants to get Jessica to chaperone. So we're waiting to hear back if Jessica can get the time off of work to chaperone. If so, they'll be there. They'll be there because
yeah.
Let's
it's
go.
an amazing experience. It's an amazing experience. And even when I mentioned to my older daughter Jessica that Imani wants to go, she was like, "Oh yeah!" Like her eyes lit up because she remembered her experience from there.
Yeah,
From
nice.
10 years ago, whenever it was. So they do amazing work. They do amazing work with the youth ministry, and I love watching what y'all do in London. And my other question was just about how do you compete with, like Mida said, the worldly things that the kids these days might be, consumed with the TikToks and the social media. What do you do to combat that if need be, or do you embrace it?
I think part of it is embracing it.
Mhm.
Part of it is embracing it. But the beautiful thing of it is like most messages, most teachings come from a place of inspiration. Um, so trying to figure out like something that they relate to that I can
Yeah.
pull from and actually give
Mhm.
them biblical word like and theology around. So
Yeah.
like there's like the TikTok dances that people are doing, and like
Mhm.
there's like all the Snapchat and the TikTok and all the things. And normally what I try to do in my messages is I try to celebrate the generation first before I share
Mhm.
the problem.
Mm.
Because if I celebrate you well enough, you'll be willing to listen.
Mm,
Yeah.
So I had this happen the Wednesday before my birthday where it was like, hey man, I just really want to like love on Gen Z and Gen Alpha. I think y'all are the most boldest, creative, inspirational people in the world. Y'all come up with these TikTok dances where you put your hands on your face and you move your
Mhm.
hands. Like y'all are the most creative people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we got one problem with this generation.
Mhm.
Y'all listen to literally everything. And when you listen to everything, when you listen to culture for so long, what starts to happen is you start to see confusion start to take
Mhm.
over your life. And confusion, when it stays long enough, turns into chaos, which is a place of being out of order.
Mm.
And when you start to remove confusion, a subtraction of confusion is actually an addition of clarity.
Nice.
So the way that I do this is I show externally the way, but I also show internally. So I have
Mhm.
a mirror and I have some sticky notes and I show all the sticky notes on the mirror and I go, hey, this is culture's narratives. This is culture's lies. This is culture's opinions. These are what we are being filled with daily.
Mhm.
But notice how I remove all the culture's lies, narratives, and opinions. The person I start to see clearly is me.
Yep.
So when I start to remove confusion,
That's
God
good.
actually starts to provide clarity.
Mhm.
So like it's like pointing out like a lot of like the stuff that they deal with and
Yeah.
not necessarily like going full on brimstone preacher like, nah, if you don't do
Right.
this, you're
Right.
going to hell.
Right.
No,
Right.
like I don't know. Like it's
Yeah.
celebrating and it's also being grace, being having some grace. And I think the other thing that I realized a few months back is they're in school for 8 hours a day. and their
Mm-hmm.
teachers are standing up talking to them 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need you to yell at them, or they don't need you to like come at them harshly.
Yeah.
They just need you to give them a real truth. I think a
Yep.
lot of this generation is just looking for truth, because
Yeah.
if we're being honest, a lot of like the pull and the tug to go to these worldly things are in a sense to find something that satisfies, and is in a sense to find something that is honest and truthful.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They're just looking for
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And if I can give them like a guide or a reference to it, I think that's a beautiful place. But I try to do this. I try to be mindful of this. And we had a leader last week who was like, "Yeah, the Holy Spirit told me not to say a word during group. He said just let them talk."
Mm.
And I was like, "That's beautiful." And I was like, "You want to know why? Because as leaders, we have to be very careful of giving answers. Because if you give
Yeah.
them an answer and they go through
And it
something
ain't right.
the next week,
Yeah.
they go through something the next week and they call your phone and you
Mm-hmm.
don't answer, what happens
Mm.
then?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I need them to be able to find the answer on their own. I need them to be able to get fresh revelation on their own.
Yeah.
I can't have students living off a secondhand revelation. No, no, no. I want them to get their own firsthand revelation.
Mm.
That's why
Yep.
in Bible study, when I work with my students from 4 to 5, those core that I disciple, I'm like, hey, like I'm not even like trying to preach to you guys. I'm gonna give you the scripture. You tell me what you find from it.
Yeah.
You
You're
tell
in
me what
what
you
you,
find
yeah.
from it.
Yeah.
I want you to learn how to read the Bible for yourself. I want you to learn how to get a
Mm-hmm.
revelation for yourself.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that's good. That's a word, man.
Yeah. 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 We can
That's a
pass the
word.
collection plate now.
That is
But
a
like I
word.
like how you just give them first, like of course you praise them or give them positive feedback or let them know that you're aware of the TikToks and the Snapchat and what all
Hmm.
the little trends or whatever are, but you put it in a way where even removing post-its from a mirror, they're seeing themselves, but still it's up to them. You're giving them the
100%.
message, but it's still up to them to gain the understanding of what it means, then make a choice of how they want to conduct themselves. So yeah, I like that. I like that
100%.
because you
And the
got to have
tension of it a lot
metaphors.
of times, you got
Uh-huh.
to. The tension of it a lot of times is you got high schoolers in a room who want the real thing,
Hmm.
who like already went through school, already been told they this, they that, like
Hmm.
all the stuff
Hmm.
they've already been told they are. And then you got middle
Yeah.
schoolers in the room who are like just like coming up with all these weird phrases they use all the time, and
Hmm.
Yeah.
like just
Yep.
like just giddy, just full of energy. And it's
Yeah.
like I
Uh-huh.
have to speak to both people. I have both audiences I have to speak to. So how can I
Yeah.
do that? That is getting creative, giving visual illustrations that would tie a middle schooler in. Is
Yeah.
key.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great, man.
You
That's
you
great.
do a really good job at it, man. I just wanted to take this time to give you some flowers
Yeah.
and tell you, man, that we've noticed my family has definitely noticed the impact that we see you having on the students. And even before, like we've discussed before, even starting with Sammy and then how that went into you, we've noticed and we've admired it, this whole time. And this is my first time to get to really tell you in person, man, that you're doing a really, really good work. And I promise you, I want to be over there. Like, I want to be on that side of the
Go
room on
walk on
Sundays.
walk on over there.
I don't want to be creepy. I don't want to be creepy 50-year-old. Like, why is this old dude over here with us? But I see y'all over there. I'm like, yo, I want to be in the middle with this, like, mosh pitting.
Yeah.
That's what it's
Yeah, yeah.
You go on over there, you know what I mean? Go
Yeah.
stand next to London. It'd be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's next,
Anybody have any
London?
questions? Oh, I was gonna ask if guys
Yeah.
we got any questions, send them on in. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. If you got any questions, any other comments for London, like we said, he is on this. He took time off of his break right now to talk with us, and we appreciate that. So we're not going to keep him too long.
Oh, I have
But London, what's your plans? Any upcoming plans, or what do you see happening? With your ministry in the next couple years or so. What's your plan?
I don't really have that many plans. The tricky thing about it is, um since like God ordains my steps, like I don't have like this 10-year vision or this 5-year vision. But I do know what we are about to do now as a ministry. is getting into schools, and we have 3 schools that we're trying to be in for the next month or two. So
Perhaps 4.
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays,
Mm-hmm.
and 4 because the Christian, yeah,
Perhaps,
Yes,
yeah,
please,
perhaps.
please. I'm getting on with them today to
yeah,
talk about it.
let's do it. Let's do it. And really creating capacity for me to be in schools, and I have 2 coordinators that help me out tremendously. Um, but like my whole like goal with that is just to create capacity to do stuff like schools,
Mm-hmm.
like be in schools, and not to preach, not
Right.
to not to not to necessarily go during a lunchtime and preach at students. No, just to be with students.
Yeah,
Like
Mm-hmm.
I think the beautiful thing about it is presence really matters. When you show up
yeah,
consistently over time, that matters for a student.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah,
not when you're trying to sell me something or trying to get me to come to your event or trying to get me to
yeah.
fill out
Just
something.
being
Like
there.
no. Just you being there.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's a whole bunch of crazy ideas we got in plan. Like we want to do pickleball courts during lunchtime with students. We want to give popsicles. We want to have some students wearing inflatable costumes during lunch or something, like just whatever it
Yeah,
is. Like we want to do the crazy youth ministry thing that says like, oh snap, I remember that experience last week.
Yeah.
Because not only do students remember presence, but they also remember what they feel.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
like a lot of
That's
the
true.
things that I try to cultivate is like what helps a student remember what they felt last
Yeah.
week when they came to youth night, or what helps a student remember that moment they had last week.
Yeah, what they
Mm-hmm.
saw and what they felt.
Yeah.
How
it made
yeah,
them
you had
feel. Yeah.
he had a question up there
We do
too.
have a
Someone wanted to
question.
know.
Do
Miss
you or
Betty
will
Ann.
you travel to other churches to spread your youth ministry?
I do travel here and there. I haven't done it in a while, but I've had a few times where like I travel and stuff. Really, I'm just really learning though. I'm really
Yeah,
learning. I'm really growing. I'm getting under the right people, growing in communication. I could see that within the next like few years, but right now
mhm.
I'm just a student.
Yeah, and you can always bring someone with you. You could book the
Yeah.
occasion and just bring someone with you that you feel can help you hold it down and still get the mission
Mm-hmm.
accomplished. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't
Absolutely.
have to be solo dolo.
Yeah.
I
If it.
had a question too.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a significance with your name as far as being named London? Is there a significance attached to that?
Not that I know of. I think my mom
Okay.
just won the battle of getting to call me London, and then we have my little sister, and her name's Logan. So we all got
Yeah.
like the same. Me and my sister have the same initials.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and I
She
was
won the
curious.
battle.
I had the opportunity to go to the UK in 2018, and we landed in London. So I was just curious, if that had any,
Nice.
if your name had
I still
any
gotta
like
go.
mom.
Everybody tells me you
Yeah,
gotta go.
oh yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
got it, man. I just tell people, just don't eat the beans for breakfast, and then you should be good.
What?
Too early. When we had Ellie on,
Yeah.
some of my acquaintances from the UK, and Brooke, who's at the radio station over there. Ellie's a musician, saxophonist, and we always have convo about having beans for breakfast, and I always stayed away. But I don't want to eat beans in the morning.
No.
Nah.
I'm just trying
Please
to be
no.
considerate of those within my circle.
Sure.
Yeah, but
So,
everything else is open season.
London, if anyone wanted to reach out, contact you about, student ministry, about coming to their school or church, if you were open to, how can they find you?
Um, they can find me on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
at
Instagram.
London X Boyd. And they can
Go
also
follow.
find me at my email. I have londonx305@gmail.com.
Okay, we're
I'm
gonna get
putting
that.
that down.
Lo-
London
London
X305. Yeah,
is
if you have.
London X Boyd all together like that.
Oh, I forget about that
You
one.
got a little
I shouldn't have put that
that
thing at the end of
backslash.
it. No backslash. No
No
backslash. Let me do it
backslash. No
again.
backslash or
London.
no backlash.
I fat fingered it. I fat fingered it.
Hey
London
yo,
X Boyd on Instagram. There we go.
about to follow now.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody is in or around the Rock Hill Riverwalk area and you have students, middle and high school age, I highly, highly, highly recommend pop up on him on Wednesday evenings at our elevation at Riverwalk. Very welcoming. You don't have to already know somebody. You know London now. And when they
Name
know
drop.
that your kid is coming in there for the first time, they do a really good job at welcoming them and making sure they feel good about being there.
And when you name drop, let him know you saw him on No Shortcuts with Midas and Fame. So he'll be able to tie it all together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. Miss Betty Ann says, London, you had my attention the moment you started speaking. You're a great Christian orator.
Hey.
Good job, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on with us, brother. Any last words of advice? Anyone watching, any youth watching, or anyone that wants to, do what you're doing or be inspired by you? You have any advice, any words of wisdom?
I would just say, no matter how young you are, you're never too young to start. The beautiful thing that I learned from Pastor Chet being at UC was one thing that you can always do, no matter how young you are, is I can always serve people. No matter how old you get, I can still serve you. Just go, just start serving, start getting involved, and see what God can actually do through you when you actually allow yourself.
Yeah, and real quick, since you brought up the word serve, Famous and I had a brief conversation before you came on. He was telling me about you, and I was like, that's great that you were, in a position to serve. But do you mind elaborating on just serving and what that means and what it means to you?
Serving to me is being able to give my offering. I want to give everything that I have for the Lord. Whether that means in school, whether that means out of school, whether that means serving my family. Like, serving isn't a church context. Serving is also, how do I call and text my sisters, even outside of church? Serving is also, how do I treat my sisters? Serving is also, how do I treat my family? So just like serving in general to me is me being able to give my offering. It's where I get to contribute. Because I think the big part of our world right now is we're seeing a lot of this trend through our students, but just in our world in general, there's a consumerism mentality.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I don't want to always just be a consumer. Like, I want to contribute. I want to give my offering. I want to give all that I have. There's been some days where I've poured out and I've been drained because of how much I've poured out. And I think that's just me wanting to give my full offering. I don't want to give God any less than He's given me.
Yeah, so serving. Yeah,
That's
I just
awesome,
wanted
man.
you to elaborate on that because that's the word I said to Famous before you even came on screen. So that's crazy that you mentioned that word in your final outtake there.
Yeah. That's awesome,
or take
man.
in general.
Thank you, London, so much for being on with us. I appreciate your time. I appreciate what you're doing with the students, and we're definitely going to keep following your journey. And however we can help and serve as well, we would love to be a part of it too. Stay on with us, though. Midas is going to hit us with the benediction.
Yeah. See, this is a form of our serving right here.
Yeah.
This platform on our 5th year.
Yeah,
So, there's all types of ways you can serve because we share the platform with others to tell about themselves and all of that good stuff. Real quick, I got to shout my mother out. She joined us, said she'll catch the replay. Shout out to my mother, Apostle Francis E. Hardison. I love
Hi,
you,
Mom.
She going thank you for being here. That perfect attendance still intact. But we want to thank Mr. London Boyd one more time for joining us today, man. This is a great talk. He is a 20-year-old youth pastor, dedicating his life to Christ and to leading our youth to Christ as well. And we definitely wanted to highlight that today. Shout out to Famous for having him come on.
Hey.
I will say, let's see, a pretty light week for me this week as we close out. Mellow Groove is doing we're doing a birthday party. I was about to say another birthday party on Saturday. Chairman of the board is off this week. So I got kind of a light week. Gonna finish these taxes. I got some downtime, you know what I mean? Get that done, man. But other than that, man, we had a wonderful time. We want to thank you all for joining us. Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to YouTube, Twitch, Apple Podcasts, also Spotify. We appreciate you all so much.
Yeah.
We're going to wish you all a great rest of the day, a great rest of the week. Let's do this again next Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with No Shortcuts with Midas and Fame. London, stay on the line. We're going to say God bless you all. Peace. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Set, check, spec, climb